So UFC Fight Night Nashville, Derek Lewis versus Taliesin Teixeira is taking place this weekend, and overall, it's a pretty decent fight night. And yeah, there's a couple of fights on this card that are stinkers, bro. But at the end of the day, this is still a better card than UFC 318. Like, if this was UFC 318 and then they put Derek Lewis, if they put Dustin Poirier versus Max as the main event, this would be a fire card. But because Derek Lewis, 40-year-old Derek Lewis is the main event, it's getting a little bit of hate. But let's start with the early prelims, which is Mitch Ramirez versus Mike Davis. Now, Mike Davis, he's kind of like the Khalil Roundtree of the lightweight division. Now, what do I mean by that? He's a Muay Thai fighter. He has a lot of aura to his name. And when people hype up Mike Davis, like, dude, this guy won the Tiger Muay Thai championship. He got the free subscription to Tiger Muay Thai, but he's a little overrated, all right? But I still think that he is good enough to defeat Mitch Ramirez. Now, the two best people that, Mitch Ramirez has fought twice in the UFC. The first time he fought was on the Contender Series against Carlos Prates. He got slept out cold, all right? That's fine. That's Carlos Prates. Everyone loses to Carlos Prates. But then he got leg kick KO'd by Thiago Moises. That's terrible. That is... We know that Thiago Moises is complete dog water now. He literally just got slumped out cold by Jared Gordon. This guy got TKO'd via leg kicks from fucking Thiago Moises a year ago. He was the reason people were saying, I don't know, man, Thiago Moises, low-key, he could hang up in there with him, But Mike Davis, on the other hand, in his last fight, he fought Fares Ziam, and he just made a lot of dumb mistakes in that fight. Like, he was, pulling guard against Fares Ziam, and I'm just going to pretend that fight didn't even fucking happen because I don't really think he's going to do that again. I think he's smarter than that. I think he should go out there, and he should spark out Mitch Ramirez. Look, if fucking Thiago Moises can do it, I think he'll be fine. I think Mike Davis will be fine. All right. Next fight on this card, we got Walter Walker versus Kennedy Nzechukwu or whatever. I'm going to be picking Walter Walker in this fight, man. Now, look, when people talk about Kennedy Nzechukwu, they talk about him like he's like an undefeated UFC heavyweight. Like he's 2-0 in the UFC. He beat Chris Barnett. He beat Lucas Brzeski. And now, he's coming forward and this is his fight to get into the rankings. People talk about Kennedy like he's an undefeated heavyweight. But he's not an undefeated UFC fighter. We saw this guy get pieced up by Ovince St. Preux in the year of 2024. Ovince St. Preux, who wouldn't even be... He would get knocked out by every heavyweight on the roster. The level of competition that Kennedy Nzechukwu has beaten is not impressive. And look, the people Walter Walker has beaten as well aren't impressive, but it's more impressive than fucking Kennedy's, bro. I think, Dontel Mace, he's been in the heavyweight division for a while, and Walker heel hooked him. Junior Taffa, say what you will about that motherfucker, but he has good striking. Walker did what he had to do, took him down, and fucking subbed him again. Now, Chris Barnett is completely ass and shouldn't be in the UFC, and Lucas Brzeski is completely ass and shouldn't be in the UFC. Versus the people that Walter Walker beat, I think they're a little higher level competition, and I think he's done it more impressively. Kennedy's done it impressive, bro, but getting slumped out cold by Dustin Jacoby is bad, bro. Justin Jacoby, I guess that's what Dustin Jacoby does, is he has comeback wins, but yeah, man, this guy, we've seen him get fucking slumped before. We've seen him taken down before. This isn't just some heavyweight prospect that's undefeated, that's been crushing cans. We've seen Kennedy lose before. And I guess, you could say maybe he's reinvented himself at heavyweight, but I got to see it to believe it. This is the first real competition he'll be fighting. And yeah, look, we could talk about Walter Walker. We could talk about his loss to Lucas Brzeski, right? Because, you could say, oh, Kennedy beat Lucas Brzeski and Walter Walker lost to him, right? Walter Walker was out of shape. I'm pretty sure he took that fight on short notice, if I'm remembering correctly. He was out of shape in that fight. And he has looked completely different in these other two fights. So I think that Walter Walker is going to be a really good fighter. I think this loss to Lucas Brzeski is honestly a fluke. I think probably, as Michael Chandler says, I beat him 9 out of 10 times. I think Walter Walker beats Lucas Brzeski 9 out of 10 times. There was just that one fight. So I'm going to be picking Walter Walker to win the fight against Kennedy and Zekichu. Next fight on the card, we got Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin. I'm going to be picking Chris Curtis to win this fight. Now, look, I don't think that Chris Curtis is that good of a fighter. He went to a split decision with Marc-Andre Barriault, and he is completely terrible. Brendan Allen, that really made me just not believe it. Like, people say, oh, bro, he went to a split with Brendan Allen. That made me know that Brendan Allen is ass and that he's a fluke merchant. That's how I knew that Brendan Allen was shit, is whenever he had that close fight with Chris Curtis, but he honestly could have won. And then he fought Roman Kopylov, and he went to a war with him, and then he got knocked out in the last 20 seconds. Maybe fight of the year. The Van fight's better, but that was fight of the year for me before the Van fight. So Chris Curtis comes to bang every time. Max Griffin, bro, he lost to fucking Michael Chiesa, bro. Not even 6 months ago, he lost to Michael Chiesa. Yeah, man. That's all I really got. That's all I should really have to say, bro. Chris Curtis, he's fought a higher level of competition. Brendan Allen, Roman Kopylov. I honestly think that he beat Kelvin Gastelum as well on the Pereira versus Adesanya 2 card. I think he beat Kelvin Gastelum. He arguably beat Brendan Allen. He had a very close fight with Roman Kopylov. So his losses aren't bad versus you look at fucking who Max Griffin's losing to, and it's like Neil Magny and fucking Michael Chiesa. So, yeah, man. I'm going to be picking Chris Curtis, 2 decision, Max Griffin, and yeah. That should be enough information for you, bro. The next fight on this card, we got Chidi Njokuani versus Jake Matthews. Now, Jake Matthews is an interesting case in the UFC because he's had some impressive performances, like his fight against Phil Rowe. We've seen Phil Rowe go on to be a pretty good fighter. And, he had a fucking submission win over Darius Flowers, and that was kind of impressive as well. But you look a little deeper into his career, he has 7 losses. And I really do not like the loss to Matthew Semelsberger, bro. I'm telling you now, Matthew Semelsberger is completely ass. He is terrible, all right? And the fact that Jake Matthews lost to him 2 years ago is kind of pathetic. But Chidi Njokuani, he's been on a good run lately. He beat Reese McKee, he beat Jared Gooden, he beat Easy S, ESZ, whatever you call him. And that's a very impressive win. That guy has a win over BSD, he has a win over Sean Strickland. So I think that Chidi's kind of hit a career resurgence where Jake Matthews is kind of just doing the same thing he does. Win, win, loss, win, win, loss, listen, That's what Jake Matthews does. And I think Chidi's kind of reinvented himself. I mean, he should not have lost to Albert Duraev, I don't think. And then his fight with Michelle Lejacek, yeah, that's a really bad look on Chidi. But I still think Chidi will be able... I mean, he had a very close fight with a bunch of middleweights, if I'm remembering correctly. Who did he fight? Somebody that's... he fought Gregory Rodriguez, and he had a very close fight with him. So, yeah, I've seen Chidi Njokuani go to war. I mean, he is getting a little old, so it's sketch. Jake Matthews could... this could be another W for Jake Matthews. But I think that I just kind of like the momentum that Chidi's been carrying with him, so... I'm going to pick Chidi Njokuani to defeat Jake Matthews via decision. The next fight on this card, we got Fatima Klein versus Melissa Martinez. Melissa Martinez, man, if people forget, man, she had this fight against Elise Reed where she kicked her in the body, right? I don't know if you guys remember this, but she kicked her in the body, and the ref thought it was a low blow and stopped it. And she honestly should have won the fight. But she was losing the fight really, really badly before that. But she should have won this fight off of a body shot KO. There was like a weird moment where she like kicked her in the stomach and they thought it was a low blow, but it wasn't. And then we got Fatima Klein, who only loss in the UFC is to Jasmine Jasudavicius, who we know is actually a very good striker for the women's divisions. And she defeated Victoria Dudikova in her last fight via grapple fuck. She literally just mauled Victoria Dudikova, and she was a huge favorite in that fight. And I actually picked Victoria Dudikova because I was like, I think the odds makers are overlooking Victoria Dudikova, man. But no, they weren't. She literally got fucking destroyed. So I think that Fatima Klein's literally just going to go out there and decision Melissa Martinez, take her down, kick her ass, beat her up on the ground, and yeah, she should. I mean, she's a huge favorite in this fight. She should just take her down and destroy her. So yeah, next fight on the card, we got Lauren Murphy versus Eduarda Mora. Yeah, man. I think Lauren Murphy's kind of cooked in this fight because she's fucking terrible at MMA. You know, as Lucas Tracy says, Lauren Murphy, she's a tough cookie. That's literally her whole thing. She's like the female Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? Like, she just gets her ass kicked in all of her fights, but then she'll like, you know, she'll get like a split decision, or she'll get a decision, or she'll get like a fucking, you know how it goes, bro. She'll beat the cans. She's old. She's literally almost 42 years old. So there'll be like a 10-year age difference in this fight. Eduarda Mora, her only loss is Denise Gomez. Split decision. You know how it goes in the women's fights, man. WMMA, split decision here, split decision there. Arguably could be undefeated. I don't really give a fuck, but I think that, you know, losing to Veronica Hardy's not... actually, she beat Veronica Hardy. Oh. Actually, I remember this now. Wait, it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. It's a vision. I'm pretty sure 29-28 decision over Veronica Hardy. And that's actually pretty good. Veronica Hardy's not terrible. But, yeah, man. We haven't seen Lauren Murphy for a very long time. 2 years ago, she got her ass absolutely destroyed by Jessica Andrade. And then she got absolutely destroyed by Valentina Shevchenko. I'm pretty sure she got destroyed by Nunes as well, if I'm remembering correctly. But Lauren Murphy, she's been in the WMMA world for a long time. And I just think it's over for her, bro. I think she's cooked, bro. So I'm going to be picking Eduarda Mora to win this fight. Next fight on the card, we got Nate Landwear versus Morgan Sharier. And I'm here to tell you right now, I'm very, very, very tempted to pick Nate Landwear, but I'm not. It's his hometown, not hometown, but it's his home state, so he'll have the home field advantage in this fight, right? Nathaniel Wood is a fucking midget, and Sharier lost to him, and Shepe Mariscal is not that good either. We've seen Shepe go on to be like kind of mid, right? But the thing about this fight is that Morgan Sharier is simply just a better MMA fighter than Nate Landwear. In every aspect, striking, grappling, every aspect of MMA, Morgan Sharier is a better fighter, right? But the thing about Nate Landwear, bro, and this is what I picked him against Dooho Choi, I'm pretty sure. I might have picked Dooho Choi. Like, the thing about Nate Landwear is he destroys cans. He's a can crusher, and he does it in violent fashion. He's fucking puts himself to be hit in every fight. And I just think that he has a good chance to just go out there and outdog Morgan Sharier. But I can't pick him just based off of that, bro. I'm picking Morgan Sharier because Nate Landwear is 37 years old, and he's better than him in every aspect of MMA if you look at the fight from a technical standpoint. But Nate Landwear could just go out there and be a fucking dog. And, you know, because he's French, he could be a coward and just, like, curl up into a ball. Like, he could pull an Umar Sy. He could pull a fucking BSD. Not BSD. I shouldn't say BSD. But he could just go out there and get whooped because he's French. But I'm not going to pick him based on that. Like, I mean, Nate Landwear, he could blitzkrieg him. You know what I mean? he could throw some Kanye on, you know? But no, I'm picking Morgan Sharier to win this fight. The next fight on the card, we got Junior Taffa versus Tuco Tacos. Tuco Tacos, you know, shout out Tuco Tacos. He actually follows me on Instagram. Shout out the legend Tuco Tacos, bro. Pretty sure his real name is James, but shout out Tuco Tacos. Listen, I'm here to tell you right now, I'm here to tell you right now, Junior Taffa is fucking ass, bro. There's no other way to put it. Junior Taffa is ass. Look, this guy was like a glory kickboxer, and he aura farmed his way into the UFC because he has the last name Taffa, and he's Polynesian, and he's obese, right? We're fading Polynesians all year long. We're fading Kai Kara France. We're fading Tai Tuivasa. We're fading Junior Taffa. We're fading all the fucking Polynesian New Zealand people. We're fading Dan Hooker. No, we're not fading Dan Hooker. But we're fading him, all right? And we're going to fade Junior Taffa. You know why? Because Tuco Tacos, the people that he's lost to, they're not bad people, bro. Umar Sy, yeah, he got fucking fraud checked in his last fight, but he's still a good fucking fighter. He still had some competitive moments against Alonzo Minifield, you know. Navajo Sterling, undefeated as well, trains at City Kickboxing. Probably shouldn't say fading all the fucking Pacific Islanders. He trains with Pick Navajo Sterling as well, but the point I'm trying to make is that the people that Tuco Tacos have lost to are not bad people, bro. And then you look at the people who Junior Taffa loses to. How do you lose to Muhammad Usman? How do you lose to Mo the Hammer Usman? You know? Now, here's what's interesting, though. This fight is at 205 pounds. And maybe, just maybe, Junior Taffa, he will be in shape for this fight. And he could just go out there and spar Tuco Tacos. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Tuco Tacos is going to take Junior Taffa down because he literally has no takedown defense at all. So I'm going to be picking Tuco Tacos. The next fight on the card, we got Calvin Kedar versus Steve Garcia. Now, the fact that Calvin Kedar still has a ranking next to his name, it disgusts me. It honestly disgusts me, and we should do something about that because he's on a 4-fight losing streak. But if you look a little deeper into the Calvin Kedar lore, right? Josh Emmett split decision. He should have won that fight. He should have beaten Josh Emmett. That was a robbery. All right? Then he has the TKO knee injury to Arnold Allen. He tore his knee, right? Here's the thing about that, right? He should really only be on a 2-fight losing streak, if we're being for real. But the thing is, the time off that he took for the fucking ACL injury or knee injury or whatever it was, it has greatly affected his ability to implement his style. So I think Calvin Kedar is just cooked from this point forward because he literally has no knees, you know? So in his last fight against Yusuf Zalal, he was getting pieced up the first 2 rounds, and then Yusuf Zalal just ran away from him, bro. The thing with Steve Garcia is that if Steve Garcia hits you the same way that Yusuf Zalal was hitting you, you're going out. And I know Calvin Kedar's never been finished before, but he's on a 4-fight losing streak, coming off of a bad injury. It's only a matter of time before he finally gets finished by somebody. Yeah, man. I'm going to be picking Steve Garcia to brutally knock out. I mean, he slept the fake Garam Kutulidze, Kyle Nelson, the Canadian Garam. He slept Malik Wazell Costa, and that's actually a win that's aging pretty well. You see how active Malik Wazell is. He beat Doo Choi. That's a really good win. These are good people to be knocking out. Chase Hooper knocked him out. So he has a lot of really good names on his resume. And Calvin Kedar, he's just kind of falling behind. 37 years old. I'm going to be picking Steve Garcia to starch Calvin Kedar. All right. Next fight on this card, we got Vitor Patrino versus Austin Lane. Now, here's the thing about this fight. Austin Lane is terrible. And this is a fight that they have set up to be welcome to the heavyweight division, Vitor Patrino. Now, I will say this about Vitor Patrino. How do you lose to Anthony Smith, man? How do you lose to Anthony Smith, man? This guy was like a -600 favorite against Anthony Smith. Literally goes out there, shoots a takedown. You're a fucking striker, undefeated striker. You shoot a takedown on Anthony Smith for no reason. It sticks his head into a fucking guillotine for no reason. Yeah, man. That's what he did to Anthony Smith. Just took his head and stuck it into a fucking guillotine for no reason. Literally the freest win you could possibly get, bro. And that's what you do. But this guy beat Martin Patrino. He beat Modestas Bukauskas. Those are pretty good people to have on your resume. Losing to Smith is crazy, but I think 9 out of 10 times, Vitor Patrino absolutely makes Anthony Smith curl into a fucking ball, right? And the loss to Justin Jacoby, he was actually winning that fight before he got knocked out. He was winning, I think it was in the 3rd round where he got knocked out, but he kind of just got lazy against Jacoby, and Jacoby does what Jacoby does and just comeback KOs. It was a brutal KO. Knocked out Vitor Patrino. Now, Austin Lane is terrible. What else is there to say? He beat Ramirez to Spain by wrestle fucking him. And, that's something that could be happening in this fight is Austin Lane could just get some takedowns and hold Vitor Patrino down. That's a very real reality that could happen, but he's 37 years old. He's fought and but he's been like a professional football player in the past. I think that he's pretty much completely cooked at this point, and he's going to get fucking knocked out by Vitor Patrino, who has crazy finishing ability. So, yeah, man. I'm going to be picking Vitor Patrino via lighter man skill. The next fight on this card, we got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. I'm going to be picking Gabriel Bonfim to win this fight via decision. Here's the thing about Wonderboy, man. Arguably could have been Gilbert Burns, but besides that, man, he's just looked worse and worse in every fight. And I love Wonderboy. He's the nicest fucking guy in the world. He's a super chill guy. One of my favorite fighters to watch because his style, like his fucking form and technique, like on the feet, Wonderboy is still as good as anybody else. But we have to address the fucking elephant in the room, which is this guy literally has no grappling, and he's never developed grappling, and he's lost so many times to grapplers. Lost to Burns, lost to Bilal Muhammad, lost to Shavkat, and Joaquin Buckley was able to take him down as well, but he ended up knocking him out. Here's what will happen in this fight. Gabriel Bonfim will go out there, and he will think to himself, I just saw Wonderboy get knocked out, I'm going to strike with him. He's going to get touched up a couple times and say, fuck that, and literally just take Wonderboy down and maul him. And that is what's going to happen in this fight, bro. Now, there is a very concerning TKO loss to Nicholas Dalby, and that is something to definitely consider in this fight for Wonderboy. Wonderboy has good knees up the middle, but besides that, he is undefeated. And I just think that Wonderboy is the oldest person on this card. He's literally almost twice the fucking age of Bonfim. And he'll just get taken down like he does in every fight. So, I'm going to be picking Gabriel Bonfim to win this fight. So, yeah. I love Wonderboy, but you got to do what you got to do, man. And for the main event, Derek Lewis versus Talison Teixeira. I am going to be picking Derek Lewis to win this fight. That's right. The underdog, Derek Lewis. 40 years of age. He's been in the fucking top 10 of the heavyweight division since it was fucking spawned in. Derek Lewis holds the most knockouts in UFC history. Alright? This is not Cope. The reason I am picking this is because this is Talison Teixeira's second fight in the UFC. You heard me correctly. This is his second fight in the UFC. He is 8-0, so he has 8 fucking fights. Derek Lewis has over 40 fights. He has more knockouts than Talison Teixeira has fights. I'll be completely honest, Talison Teixeira did not impress me too much in his last fucking fight either, bro. Like, there was nothing crazy that he did that showed me that he could beat Derek Lewis. To beat Derek Lewis, you either have to have technical ability to hit him before he hits you, or you have to have good grappling, okay? So you either have to hit Derek Lewis before he can hit you, or you have to be a good grappler and take him down and just submit him or just lay on him or whatever. Now, I know you're going to, oh, bro, what about the fucking, who was that guy's name? The fat guy. Taffa. What is his name, bro? Tuivasa. What about Tuivasa? Tuivasa was on a good run at that point, all right? Tuivasa was like it was like a 4-fight win streak by KO. So we'll give Derek Lewis a break with that, all right? You look at the people who Derek Lewis beats. Marcos Rogerio de Lima. He's cut from the UFC. Rodrigo Nascimento cut from the UFC. This guy knocked out Curtis Blades. He knocked out Volkov. I know that was a long time ago, but the point I'm trying to make is that the experience advantage for Derek Lewis in this fight is a very real thing, okay? He probably has 5 times as many fights as Talison Teixeira, and I know he's 40. I just picked against Wonderboy because he's old, and Wonderboy has the experience advantage, right? But I'm picking Derek Lewis because Talison Teixeira, this is an example of them feeding someone to Derek Lewis too soon. They're just giving them one does not simply get Derek Lewis in their second fight in the UFC. And here's the thing, if Talison Teixeira beats Derek Lewis, then I'm on board for his career. He's literally like 6'7", and he's been knocking everybody out. But the people he beat are not impressive. Fucking 5 fights ago, he was fighting a guy that was 4-15. And now he's fighting Derek fucking Lewis. You know? He fought a guy that was 2-1. And now he's fighting Derek fucking Lewis. He fought another guy that was 2-1. And now he's fighting Derek Lewis. And now he beat Justin Taffa, who is ass, who shouldn't even be in the UFC at all. So I don't even know why this fight got made in the first place. And I understand why Talison Teixeira is the underdog. He's 25 years old. He's on a crazy win streak, whatever. But Derek Lewis has been at the top of heavyweight. He got a fucking title shot based on his ability to just sleep people. And power is the last thing to go in a fighter. So, yeah. I am going to be picking Derek Lewis to beat Talison Teixeira. I haven't seen anything from Talison Teixeira that is impressive enough for me to pick him against Derek Lewis. And yeah, I know what you're saying, bro. He's 40 years old. He's fucking washed. He's the fucking bum now, right? That's what you're thinking. Like, he's lost to Pavlovich. He lost to fucking Gone. He lost to fucking everybody. Yeah, he lost to all the best people in the division. Almeida, Sergey Spivak, Sergey Pavlovich, Gone. We'll just forget about Tuivasa. But he's lost to only the best people. This guy beat Francis Ngannou just based on his ability to sleep people. Like, Francis Ngannou was afraid to engage with this guy because of how good he is at knocking people the fuck out. You know? So, I am going to be picking Derek Lewis to knock out Talison Teixeira in the first round. Because I don't think Talison Teixeira is ready for Derek Lewis at this stage in his career. So, yeah. That will do it for the video. Yeah, I picked 3 underdogs in this fucking card. It's a pretty lopsided. Like, a lot of these fights on the card are mismatches. But they're going to be finishes. So, it's going to be a good fight card regardless. And I'm going to try to go there in person. I think I'm not going to go to 318 anymore because of how terrible it is. I think I'm going to go to this event. So, if you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.